Welcome to the College Football Show presented by AT&T 5G. It was a who's who in Boulder, Colorado earlier today. Lee Corso with the 400th headgear donned, and you know he was going with Colorado.
The GOAT.
The Rock was in town. I mean, everybody descended upon Boulder. It was a great sight and a great start to an interesting Week 3 as we welcome you here inside the studio. Matt Sims, Skubie Mageza, I'm Sam Ravech. Great to have you along for the next hour. Guys, I mean, you started this week back on Monday looking at the slate, right? And you're like, we got no ranked versus ranked matchups this week. This is going to be an easy week, or there shouldn't be a lot of drama. But every college football fan knows these are the weeks you got to be looking out for, right? And you saw Florida State get pushed to the brink. They bent but didn't break. Kansas State goes down on a walk-off field goal. But maybe the talk of the town is certainly going to be what happened with Georgia and what's happening with Alabama right now as they're in that rain delay. But it raises the question, like, who is the best team in college football right now, right? I mean, does Georgia still deserve to be the number one team in the country after this week, Scoob?
There was an argument going into this week that is Florida State the number one team in the country? And I would have made the argument for them being that team. But then you struggle against BC all the way down to the wire, a team that has struggled to start the year.
Mightily.
Yeah, a lot. And it's on the road. So to me, when I look at it with Georgia's struggles, I see their schedule. And I said this week one, they're going to sleepwalk into their tougher matchups. And sleepwalk technically into the SEC championship if they can get there. So are you able to wake up and press that go button on time? I think there's a number of other teams that you can make an argument for being number one in the country, such as Texas. I'll even make a case for Notre Dame, Washington. Those teams are going to have more to prove thanks to the resume of their schedule.
We discussed it last week. What team, what do we think? What do we know so far about these teams? Again, another week has gone by, and I really don't know anything about what to expect for the rest of this year, other than that it's going to be an interesting year. It's going to be fun, and doesn't matter. We really don't know. There's a lot of unproven football players.
A lot of parity.
A lot of parity, and a lot of unproven quarterbacks, too, that still have to get experience and get better because right now some of the inexperience, especially at the quarterback position, is unpredictable.
Yeah, it is showing itself for real. And Florida State, we just talked about them struggling in their game against BC on the road. The wind was out there. We were worried about the hurricane. And the game was good. So why don't we show y'all the highlights? Jordan Travis and FSU taking on BC. If they thought this game was finna be a breeze, it wasn't. FAU up 7 with 45 seconds left in the half. Scary moment here. Travis, FAU, you know what I mean. And Travis gets injured trying to scramble here. It was a supposed left arm injury, Matt. Thoughts on this tackle and the injury?
Yeah, I think it's more of a left shoulder right there. You see the elbow make contact with the ground, and then he kind of gets sandwiched into the ground. So I think it's more so an AC joint, which could be very uncomfortable for quarterbacks, even though it is a non-throwing shoulder.
That's a good sign.
Something to be
good sign he came back.
Yeah.
Great sign he came back.
Second half,
great toughness.
He was show off because he was GOOD good. Woo! It's a dime to Johnny Wilson, 44 yards. Wilson finished with 4 catches for 105 yards, first down Seminoles. Later in the drive, Travis, still cooking like some bacon grease, finds Preston Daniel for the 4-yard touchdown reception. Entering today, FSU has outscored their opponents 24.5 points per game in the second half. But in the fourth, things changed. Lawrence Toafili fumbles the rock. And it's a Boston Tea Party in the end zone, Sam. BC couldn't convert the 2-point try here. They trail 31-22. Later in the fourth, same score. 4th and 1, Thomas Castellanos can be your hero. He had 400 scrimmage yards, doing it both in the air and on the ground. BC, a team that hasn't had much success this season, is finding success here. Fourth quarter, huge play on 3rd down. Eagles need a stop. They get it. However, defensive face mask on their play, their 18th penalty of the game, a school record, and it's costly. FSU
defense
would kneel the ball out to win the game,
penalty,
31
first down
to 29. A struggle, nonetheless. Jordan Travis, 15 for 24, 212 yards. and 2 touchdowns in this game. But you see Castellanos just showing out in this game. When you look at the box score, had a way better game. We didn't see Coleman much. We saw Bell, but Matt, a little bit of a slow start. They figured it out. How confident are you with Florida State after this game?
I'm still very confident in Florida State as a football team. I still think that they have one of the better rosters from top down in the country. And I really think it's a great thing to see Jordan Travis fight through that injury today, because that is a serious injury. That is an uncomfortable injury. And I know that the rest of the team was excited to see him fight through that. To perform the way that he did coming out of halftime was extremely important. And I know that that was a good energy boost for the team, knowing that their leader and their commander went out there. And Boston College, this is the red bandana game for them. Wells Crowther, who saved a lot of lives during 9/11 when the towers were going down. He was a firefighter that went up and saved a lot of people. Wanted to be a firefighter, but saved a lot of people wearing that red bandana. So the emotions for Boston College were extremely high because they were representing such an unbelievable story and an American hero.
Here's the main question that I have about Florida State now. I gained a lot of confidence in what we saw from Travis today, because not only did he get injured, he came back out and showed that, like, I'm here. We are going to win this game. That was important for me to see. Defensively, there are some question marks, I think, for Florida State. I mean, they gave up 24 points to LSU in week 1. They just gave up, 29 to Boston College today. That raises some questions, at least for me.
Their one issue, I'm sorry to cut you off real quick, I think their one issue, they have a tough time handling mobile quarterbacks. Jaden Daniels, extremely mobile, a great guy creating plays with his feet. And Thomas Castellanos, I mean, this dude is unbelievable in what he does with his feet, and he looks like just Fran Tarkenton out there, just creating unbelievable plays. So they have a tough time, kind of keeping the mobile quarterbacks in the pocket and containing them.
BC fans were chanting overrated as Florida State was going off of the field. But I think it is important to note that this is one of those look-ahead opportunities in this game for Florida State, because we know who they got next week. They got Clemson. So sometimes you can look at your opponent as a team and then overlook them and not, as Deion says, take it personal. So make sure it's personal and you focus on each and every opponent.
It certainly looked like LSU took some things personally, because they took it out on Grambling State, put up 72 on them last weekend. Now we go down to Stark Vegas. Number 14 LSU taking on Mississippi State first quarter. LSU up 3. Jaden Daniels going deep, finding Malik Neighbors. This was a great connection all game long.
Yeah, beautiful throw right there. Man coverage again. And we saw that just throughout the game, winning one-on-one coverage. Malik Neighbors again here, one-on-one coverage, winning at the bottom of the screen for this touchdown. So unbelievable throw versus man coverage by Jaden Daniels. Great execution by Malik Neighbors, being there and being open often.
Third quarter, we got the Tigers up 20 here. Daniels calls his own number and takes it in. That's also what he can provide, very versatile.
And that's a little bit of a concern for me, really, too. I want, Jaden Daniels to not have so much pressure for the offense to revolve around him, both in the pass game and the run game, because the dude takes a lot of big hits. And as the season goes on, that wears quarterbacks out. So I want them to start to kind of spread around just the wealth on offense, especially in the run game.
They have the talent, too. Malik Neighbors.
They sure do.
What was the stat line? Over 200 yards, 13 catches.
2 touchdowns.
Career game for him. And then when you look at LSU, I had this question before the season started. Is Daniels going to be able to hit those intermediate throws, those deep throws? He tends to use his legs a lot, and we didn't see that quite often to start the season. So in this game, he showed out and showed his ability to hit the deep ball. LSU played to their potential in this game. I like what I saw from them. Yes, they have that loss against Florida State, but to see this game, to let us find out a lot about who the Tigers are.
I think we found out a lot about who some of the playmakers are going to be, and Malik Neighbors is one of those, because he kind of joined some really good company here today. 175 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns in a single half. Now joining Justin Jefferson, who did against Oklahoma back in 19, and Jamar Chase, who also did it in 2019. But to the point, that's kind of who they're looking for.
I've never heard of those two guys before.
Well, that game was not close. This game was Kansas State, Missouri. Listen, Phillip Brooks coming in on the tip drill like Nelly. Will Howard can thank his wide receivers for the awareness on this play, Sam.
Hustles with the ball.
That's right.
All right, still the first, same score. Brady Cook was doing like his last name. Cooking.
Yeah, he was.
Boom.
Fantastic.
Reservations for 6, Luther Burden. They connected a lot in this game. More to come from them. It's tied up. Second quarter, Missouri up 3. Will Howard throws it to his favorite target today, Ben Sinnott. KSU takes the lead. Let's keep going. Third quarter, 17 up. Howard, he was banged up the majority of the second half, but my dude battled. Finds Sinnott again. But on the jump pass, what a play. 78 yards and 2 touchdowns on the day for Sinnott. And I wonder if Tim Tebow was watching that one right there. But it kept getting spicy. Fourth quarter, Missouri down 3. Luther Burden was a burden for KSU. 26-yard touchdown there. He finished with 7 catches, 114 yards, 2 touchdowns. Huge play. Missouri takes the lead just by 3 points. Fast forward. Final seconds of the game, y'all. Missouri going for a 61-yard field goal after a costly delay. Nah. Listen, that would have been good from like 60-something. You feel me? Harrison Mevis. It is good. SEC record. Longest field goal in conference history. Missouri takes down 17th ranked Kansas State. First win against an unranked opponent in a non-conference game since 1990. Will Howard, 25 for 39, 273 touchdowns. But Brady Cook, check out the numbers for him. Over 350 yards, 3 total touchdowns. Right before the game started, the Missouri fans were booing Brady Cook. I bet they ain't booing him now.
No, it felt like a show-me game for the boys in the show-me state. How about this one here? Number 9, Notre Dame. They've got a big one next week against Ohio State, but don't look past Central Michigan now. Only 200 miles away. This is actually the first time these two have ever played on a football field. First quarter, no score. Notre Dame, Sam Hartman, more of the same here today, Matty.
On fire.
That's crazy. This is the first time they ever played against each other.
It is, right?
I mean, it really is wild. But yeah, Sam Hartman, again, just doing what Sam Hartman does, and that's playing efficient quarterback.
That was Miles Bailey, the 6-yard touchdown run. We're tied 7-7 here. Things interesting, but Notre Dame would start scoring some more touchdowns here. Sam Hartman throws a pass downfield. Chris Tyree, 76-yard touchdown. Just dropped it right in the breadbasket.
What I love seeing about Notre Dame is that we've seen them make explosive plays in every single phase offensively. Running the football, throwing it. I mean, it's just unbelievable that they are able to create all these explosive plays in many different ways. And that's one of the things that I'm most excited about watching, especially for their matchup next week.
122nd career touchdown pass for Sam Hartman, now 8th all-time in FBS.
He's been in college for a decade.
It's amazing to see what he's been able to do, and now seemingly has found a right spot there in Notre Dame. Now, what's interesting, again, we talk about what they have next week. They took care of business here, 41-17. Ohio State coming up. I think we're going to learn a lot about who this Notre Dame team is. I think we had the conversation earlier. All right, Notre Dame is certainly capable of making it to a CFP this year. But it's interesting because they still are not in a conference, right? They are an independent school. And they're one of the few teams that can do that and do it successfully. But they hold a lot of power over the college football world, Scoob, and they like to be in that position.
Notre Dame has the opportunity to be kingmakers, if you would say, but at the same time, they could be kings. I said at the beginning of the show that Notre Dame could be in the conversation for one of the best teams in the country. With Sam Hartman, they've been pulling up numbers, 40 points per game this season.
Silly.
And this is nothing like what we've seen from Notre Dame in the past because their offense and their QB position has been something that is lacking. However, when you look at their schedule, they got Ohio State, they got USC, and we know they got that matchup next week that we're looking at. And if you have those teams on your schedule, you're going to help build their resume, and you're going to build your resume. So I love what Notre Dame got in their schedule the next couple of weeks. It is not going to be easy.
No joke,
but look at that. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Listen, 4 different ranked matchups and 3 teams. And 2 teams in the top 10, that's tough, guys.
Don't look past Clemson, too. I mean, if they get things rolling down there, who knows? You're going to Clemson November.
Not only that, but, I mean, Louisville's playing great football with Jeff Brom. So this is going to be a tougher schedule than I think a lot of people are maybe paying attention to right now in college football. And we know a lot of hype is going to Sam Hartman, and rightfully so, because, damn, he makes it look easy, and he looks really calm. But Audric Estime, dude, I mean, this is another guy that he should be considered for the Heisman. This dude's putting up stats, and he's putting up impressive numbers, and he is running violently through that. And it's really, really just an outstanding performance so far this early in the season for Notre Dame.
Yeah, no question about it. And by the way, Notre Dame has won their first 4 games of the season by at least 3 touchdowns. So, I mean,
my Lord.
That probably is going to change next week, but
We'll
still
see.
an impressive start nonetheless.
Yeah, Sam Hartman's numbers, I can't get over it, because when you look at the non-Pac-12 QBs in the Heisman conversation, he's the only one that's tearing it up to the level that he's doing it at. And when you look at his performance throughout the first 4 games of the season, I think he's got to be at the top of the Heisman conversation right now, just as much as any one of the guys.
Yeah.
He's a Notre Dame quarterback. If they keep winning, if they're undefeated, he's going to be there.
Yeah, no question about it. Alabama and USF were getting in action down there in Tampa, Scoop.
Yeah, Tyler Buchner was the one that got the start in this game. And early in the first quarter, no score, 3rd and 6 for Bama. Buchner, pass intercepted that was intended for Jermaine Burton. He dropped that under 6 minutes left to go in the first. Now, Buchner throws to J.C. Brooks. It is short. Bama punting again. Rain is coming down hard now.
Yeah.
Wardell Williams takes the hands off and gains no yards. Bama forced to punt. That was a theme in the first half. Same score, 3rd and 12. Later on in the game, Wardell Williams, he gets in the end zone. Alabama is up 10-3 right now in the game. Slow start for them offensively. Listen, we've seen 3 different quarterbacks under center for Alabama this season, Matt. And you and I talked before the game started.
Yeah.
What do you think about replacing Jalen Milroe with Buchner after his performance?
I wasn't happy with it. I thought Jalen Milroe really didn't do enough to be, taken out of that position. I know that he struggled versus Texas. I know he had a few plays that he'd want back. But, the only way to get better at the position of quarterback is to get reps. And right now, we've discussed it. Texas may be one of the better teams in the country. Maybe. We're not really sure. But I know one thing, Jalen Milroe is probably their best option at the quarterback position because of his athleticism, his ability to throw the football down the field, and I think he can correct some of those, decisions that were made, for last week.
But let's make it clear, too. I'm not sure that a QB switch here is a quick solve for Alabama. They have a lot of other issues.
No, they might not just be as good a team as everyone thinks they are.
But why doesn't anybody want to accept that?
Because it's Alabama and it's Nick Saban, and he has been, the god of college football for the past decade. So, they've done a great job of having fantastic receivers, quarterbacks, running backs. This is the first time ever where that's been somewhat in question. And hey, credit to them. They've found great quarterback after great quarterback. Jalen Hurts, Tua, Mac Jones. I mean, the list goes on. So, even before that, Greg McElroy's and the A.J. McCarron's solid college quarterbacks, right? But, Jalen Milroe, he's new to the position, and he needs to get a little bit more experience and grow in the position. And I just thought it was a little bit too quick.
Right, so here's what the schedule looks like for Alabama, too, in the next couple of weeks. It looks a lot more daunting after week 1, I can tell you that.
Did I put Jalen Hurts?
We can't see it here, but put a circle around Ole Miss, by the way. 4th in the nation, averaging 400 yards per game.
Yep.
Listen, you can't see the competition right now for Alabama because they got to focus on everything one game at a time. It is still 10-3 against USF, but there it is.
There we go. There we go. We got it up.
That's what Nick Saban showed the team. He's like, who our opponent is? No, it's ourselves now. Oh, man. But, I mean, here we go with the matchups coming up. We got Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Texas A&M, Arkansas, Tennessee, and maybe not the toughest of the SEC schedules ever, but right now, Alabama is struggling to just create plays offensively.
One of our most favorite segments of the week. We call it Holy Cow, and that is because we get to see some of the best plays throughout the day, and we score them from 0 to 100. So without further ado, let's get into the plays. And we start with a K-State tip drill. Now, this is Will Howard's pass deflected, and we take a 7-0 lead. I mean, just stay alive, stay hot.
That's how we drew it up right there.
Exactly.
Follow your shot. Follow the ball, basketball, football, same rules apply. Sam, you're a pretty generous grader here, though. Right?
I'm a generous person overall. So I'm going to go with a score of 90 for that play. Right. I think it was very intricate. It was very intricate. Like Matt said, it was exactly how we drew it up. So we'll go with 90 for the first play. On to the second. We go ODU, Lemurian James scoop and score to take a 14-0 lead over Wake Forest.
What are we doing there? Why are we even throwing that? Reminds me of Jameis Winston.
Oh, poor Jameis.
Catching strays out of nowhere while chilling in the crib. But that was gifted. I mean, great play there.
Oh,
what are we doing?
The ball was just bouncing around too. I mean, it was
there.
Nobody can pick it up. Somebody get the ball.
You know what? Great play defensively, but I thought it was lucky. 77. I mean, that's still a great grade right there. You know what I mean?
He really is. Just
77.
no fun Scoobs. That's what we call him here.
Yeah, right. And Wake Forest even won that game. All right, so we're moving right along here. Ohio. This is Iowa State's quarterback, Rocco Brecht, who's had a bit of a tough start to the season, I think we would say, Maddie. But this is an interesting play here. I'm interested to see what your score is.
I mean, it's a big man with an interception. We got to score this. It's at least a passing grade. We know that. He's hustling to the football. He didn't do a great job of actually getting after the quarterback, but he did a good job of hustling to the football. I know you're about to say something about that, Scoop. I give him an 83. I'm going to give him a B-.
I like it because it was to win the game. It was a play to win the game. Over the circumstances that was happening, grade him up a little higher.
All right,
I
so
like it.
That bumps it up. All right. Here we go. Naquan Wright. Truck stick. Oh, good grief.
He got up right after, though. He's good.
He's
Quick
good.
pop-up game.
Oh, my Lord.
Dear Lord is
It just
right.
reminds you this is a physical game. I mean,
this is a reminder, too, for Caleb Downs of just welcome to Division I football.
Right.
freshman.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of really good football players no matter what team they play for.
I'm going to give this a 92, although I will not score Alabama's play so far this season that high because we have a lot of questions about Alabama, which we will talk more about in the show.
Facts.
We don't have enough time, actually.
Yeah, I like the 92. That was a hard hit over here. But you talk about big men doing things. Sam.
Look at this.
Woo.
Lineman.
Walking it in.
Joshua Gray. Hold on, lineman. I know you had hands like that.
He looked real
Taking
smooth.
a look.
Real smooth. Real confident. I like it.
Great play design over here. Hey, DJ, that's a great ball, too. You put it in an easy place for him to catch. That's a toss and pitch. That's backyard stuff.
You know what
92, baby. We're going up high over here. We're going up high today. Can we get much higher?
All right, so Scoob's completely lost his mind. Time now to look ahead to the best game of the day from the Swamp. And a guy who knows a thing or two about SEC football, here's Greg McElroy.
Tennessee and Florida. Traditionally, this would be a game that might determine the SEC East. However, Georgia appears to be in sole control of that division. Florida against Utah, they were their own worst enemy. Gave up a big play on the first play of the season, a long, big touchdown, and were never really able to manufacture enough in the red zone to be able to close the gap against a quality Utes team. But Tennessee looks very improved defensively. However, what's lacking right now has been the deep ball passing accuracy from Joe Milton. Last week against subpar competition, just 2 of 11 on throws that traveled more than 10 yards downfield. He's got to be more accurate on the downfield passing to open up things for his excellent wide receivers. And while the running game has been very good up to this point, it might not be quite as dependable against a stout Florida Gators defense.
So nothing like a little old school rivalry in the SEC East down there in Florida. And guys, Tennessee has struggled. They haven't won in the Swamp in 20 years. They've had some close calls back in 2015, 2017.
Take it easy.
Maddie, you know all about this rivalry.
He was
here.
there.
I was there for one of those losses.
You were certainly there. Gut-wrenching losses. But Tennessee was bumped down in the polls despite winning last week. They were bumped from 9 to 11 in the AP poll. What do you want to see from Tennessee here today in a rivalry game on the road?
Yeah, this has to be the Joe Milton coming out party. We really need to see him and that offense just dominate and be a little bit more aggressive in the passing game and just be more consistent. We haven't really seen that yet. Despite having the big arm, despite having all that hype this offseason, we haven't really seen that fully developed offense that we've come and known to expect, especially what we saw from Hendon Hooker.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off of your point, Matt, what I would like to see from them is a more efficient offense. When you saw the offense under Hendon Hooker, it was as if things were running smoothly. They're not on schedule as much as you would like to see them with Joe Milton running the offense. And then just the way that he's throwing the ball, we talked about it in week 1. He's a thrower. He's not necessarily a passer, and that means being able to hit your guys in stride. I know he didn't have much help with some guys dropping balls and then not getting the help that he needs from his wide receivers. And then some reports coming out this week that the team had a players-only meeting. 2 games into the season after you just won a game. Now, Matt, you and I have both been in football locker rooms. We've been a part of player-only meetings. And my perspective and my personal experience is it never really helps as much as you think that it will. So what do you take from your former team having this players-only meeting with a 2-0 record so far in the season?
Yeah, when I was at Tennessee, we might have had a few player-only meetings, and yeah, we weren't that good. We struggled. So
at least you're honest.
Yeah, we were. I have to be honest. I can't sugarcoat anything. I'm from New Jersey, but what we really got to see from Tennessee is we just need to see that offense take that next step. That's really what it comes down to. Joe Milton has to live up to the expectations that we've all placed on him, unfortunately, which may be a little bit unfair. But this Florida defense, especially their pass defense, is ranked in the top 10.
Yeah.
Now, they haven't played a team that's known for passing yet, but this Florida defense really is impressive. They'll hustle to the football. They're going to be aggressive. They haven't caused one turnover yet on the season, so that's a concern. But, man, the Swamp at night is a different thing.
What's it like? Talk more about it, though, because you were there. What is it like?
I was there for a 1 o'clock normal Saturday CBS game, and it was still crazy. And even though I was the backup, I was still talking to somebody like this, the Scoob on the sideline, and we were both like,
Could
no
hear
one
each other?
knew what the hell was
other.
going on. So it's a crazy place to play. It's a fantastic stadium. It's a great atmosphere. They're going to be a little bit more tipsy at this time of hour.
Let them know.
But it is going to be a really cool atmosphere, and Tennessee needs to go in there and win.
They certainly do. All right, so we made some picks. We're going to pick this game as well, but we had some picks last week. And first, we got to take our medicine. I feel like I have to go the other way because somebody's got to be wrong.
You don't have to.
I think Alabama's going to win by 2 touchdowns.
Okay,
I think
now that's bold.
I think they win
like
by
that.
14 points. I think that Jalen Milroe is a lot more of a pocket passer than people think.
Yeah.
We saw what he was capable of last week. I don't think he's necessarily getting the credit that he maybe deserves as a quarterback. We know he can run. All right, so yeah, that was not good. That was not good.
That was not.
That was not a highlight.
Was bold.
That was not a highlight that we would like to show again. Should have picked Texas.
How are you going to make up for that bold prediction?
We need to have. We're going to have some push-ups. We need push-up, and I'm going to do 14.
Like we or you?
Me.
No,
well, I always talk in the play.
Hey, man, we make no
We're a
14
team here.
Yeah,
I'm going to do
I'll sit here
14 push-ups because I said that they were going to win by 2 touchdowns. So here we go.
All right,
we're going to do the
Scoop.
14.
All right,
But hold on. While we're doing this, let's pick these games coming up.
I want you to continue to host the show as you're doing the push-ups.
All right. Well, let's do it. Well, let's pick
that's one.
That's 2.
That's 2.
Let's do these next picks. What do we got in this game?
That's 4. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead.
Soldier.
I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to pick Florida to win this game. Joe Milton's first true road test, and you're getting in a loud atmosphere. We haven't seen him run this offense efficiently. They're going to be dealing with a pass rush. Listen, it is not going to be easy for your boy. I'm going Florida to win the game.
You go next. I need to catch my breath.
I'm a Vol for life, man, and I got to go with the Vols, man. So we're going to get that first dub down there in the Swamp in over 20 years. So go Vols, baby.
I'm picking Florida. I'm going to double down. Florida by a touchdown.
I like it.
I'm not going
Scoop
to.
is 0-2 on the season, so I'm feeling good about my pick.
I need to catch up, all right? I don't even like
one
that you
win.
pick something with me.
You need
Come on,
one win.
Florida,
Give me
baby.
that Tennessee flag. Put that flag.
There you
That
go.
a boy.
There we
Look
go.
at that orange. It's beautiful. That's
right.
God's color.
Later, we're going to do a live looking at the backyard brawl, which is always one of the best, atmospheres of college football.
Yeah.
So who are we picking in this one? Scoob, you want to start?
Yeah. I'm going to go with the home team in this one, West Virginia. I kind of like their chances. Pitt has not looked that good when you get that loss against Cincinnati.
Sam's still recovering.
I know, right? He's still breathing hard. Pitt did not look good against a loss against Cincinnati. And when you go in against West Virginia in their home turf on a big game like this, love the backyard brawl, I think they'll pull it out.
Yeah, this is a great matchup, and it is good for college football. But I agree with you. I am going to go with the home field advantage here. I think West Virginia is another tough place to play. And I just feel like they're going to have a little bit more explosive plays offensively, and they've kind of shown that they have the ability to push the football down the field.
Should I double down? All right, we're going Pitt.
Woo!
We're taking Pitt. We're going to take Pitt because they're coming off that loss against Cincinnati. I'm going to talk like I know exactly what I'm talking about, but I don't because I have not watched Pitt all that closely this year. I did watch the game against Cincinnati.
Don't worry, nobody
I think
has.
there's more. We saw what Phil Jerkovich could do, so I think he could lead them to victory tonight. That's what we're going with there. We got more highlights. Let's go out west to the Pac-12. We're going to talk a lot of Pac-12 here in this show. We'll start with Oregon State and San Diego State. Now, late in the second here, Oregon State up 6-0. And for those who may just be watching college football for the first time, DJ Uyunglele is a Beaver, Maddie.
Man, I love it. You know what this play is called? It's called razzle dazzle.
Yes.
And you give the big man the football and look at him rumble and tumble into that end zone.
All right, later in the third here, 12-3 the score. Turn the Jets on there. Silas Bolden runs 18 yards, gets the touchdown there. First and goal, Uyunglele will score.
Man, they're just calling a great game offensively. Shout out to the OC. A lot of creativity.
This is a dangerous Oregon State team to tier. Top of the fourth quarter, 19-3 Oregon State. Uyunglele intercepted, though. Oregon State still leads at 19-3. Later in the fourth, 9 minutes left. San Diego State threatening here. And it's Jalen Armstead running the 6 yards for a touchdown. It's now 19-9 San Diego State. But hold on. DJU finding Anthony Gould for a 75-yard touchdown. Wow.
Dude, he definitely has some rocket boosters right there. Really good rocket screen, actually, to the receiver on the outside. Great job following that wave by the blockers down the field and then just putting on the bursters after that. Fantastic play.
So we're going to talk about the Pac-12 writ large in just a bit here, but specifically with this Oregon State team who led the Pac-12 in overall defense last year.
Yeah.
Now they add an experienced quarterback. This is another dangerous team in this dangerous conference.
It's amazing just a change of scenery, what that can do for you,
Right, yeah.
right? And your psychology, right? And just how you feel as a player, too. So, credit to DJ, for doing what he thought was best for the individual, right? And now we're getting to see the guy that we thought he really was, right? And he's a fantastic football player. He's making really good decisions. Even the interception was a good throw, right? It was a little bit tough. It was a little tight coverage, but good decision-making, playing good football. And right now, Oregon State stock is rising.
8 teams in the top 25 right now.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was going to say next. We'll show a full screen of those teams in the top 25 for the Pac-12, and it's just showing you how good the Tupac is, because they only got 2 teams left in the conference, but you see it from top to bottom over there, which is why it's going to be difficult for any of these teams to get through each other. When you look at the quarterbacks in this conference, they are right at the top of the country for the best ones sitting under center, and I like the chances for USC in this conference as being the best team in the Pac-12 when you have a guy like Caleb Williams, who's barely played in the second half this season. I think he's played 30 snaps in the second half and then 6 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So you think back to yourself, man, if this guy gets to play a whole game, what type of numbers is he putting up? Who knows? Probably godly. But at the same time, that defense needs to step it up and support their quarterback a little bit more.
Matty, who's the best team in the Pac-12?
Oh, man, that is a really tough question, man.
As of week 3, I mean, I know it's early, but so far.
I kind of like Washington, honestly. I don't know. And I
like
picked them as my early, season favorite to make the college football playoff. I love Michael Penix Jr. I think he's a phenomenal football player. Braylon Trice, one of the best defensive ends in the country. And I really think that their defense will be able to create enough havoc for some of these, in-conference matchups. But that, we'll see how that plays out. It's really going to be really interesting, and the Pac-12 is by far the most exciting conference by far.
All right, so that kind of begs the question then, guys. Is the Pac-12 the best conference in college football?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so it's getting up. He means business.
No more push-ups, though. I'm done doing push-ups. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to start ranking the conferences here. And so what I kind of want to do is I'm going to put the top 5 here.
All right.
And I want you guys to tell me why I'm wrong. Okay, so that's how we're going to do it.
All right, get this right, my boy.
Am I putting the Pac-12 1? Right now, I don't see how we can't put the Pac-12 as the best conference in college football right now. I'm going to follow. I'm going to go quick here because I want to get your thoughts. I'm going SEC. I think we go Big Ten.
And everybody in the chat on YouTube, I'd love to hear what you guys think about this as well. I'm going to keep an eye on it.
All right.
But that's how we're going. Okay.
Tell me where I'm wrong right now. Matt, we'll start with you.
I think we got to move the SEC to 3 and move the Big Ten to 2.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Okay.
And I think
Reasoning?
I'm cool with everybody else, actually, for right now at this point in the period of the season.
Yeah, definitely, because in the Big Ten, you still got Michigan, you still got Ohio State. Ohio State looked good today.
Penn State's good.
Yeah, Penn State looked good today. Yeah, so you got 3-4 teams that you can look at within the Big Ten that are going to give problems, that have an opportunity to be in the college football playoff. When I look at the SEC, I don't know if I can give you 3 teams that have a chance to make it into the college football playoff.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. I think you're right on that one.
Are you okay with the Big 12 being where they are just because of the depth? I mean, we saw what Texas is able to do. I mean,
yeah, Texas is the great equalizer. And really my debate is like Texas, Florida State. And that's really the only debate that I have. I think the ACC as a whole is okay. You know,
you're not counting Notre Dame in the ACC, though.
I'm not.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
I see Tony King in the YouTube chat.
What do we got?
Thinks you hit your head because you got Pac-12 at number 1. But I will say,
it was when
Tony,
I did those push-ups.
I get it. But listen, the Pac-12 is performing great so far this year. They have some of the most electrifying players in the country. If they were in the SEC or in any of these other conferences, we would be promoting them even more so, right? So that's where just their location and being on the West Coast, I feel like, is their disadvantage because no one watches it.
All right, so this is what we went with collectively. Any comments or concerns, take it up with Skubie Mageza. All right, Oklahoma and Tulsa. Oklahoma on the road here. Second play of the game. Dillon Gabriel finds Jaleel here, who takes it 34 yards for the touchdown. Sooners up early, 7-0. Be a lot more of the same here. They used a couple QBs in this game too, Matt.
Dillon Gabriel, though, is performing at a super high level.
Tell me about it.
It really is just, he's having a Heisman-like year so far, and I've been impressed with Oklahoma's defense, more importantly.
Yes, this was a team that went 6-7 last year. They could not stop anything. This is a really good sign. You see Danny Stussman coming up with a pick and then taking it back for the touchdown. Second quarter, 28-7. Gabriel going deep, finding Nick Anderson for the touchdown to break it open.
You see how that came out of his arm? It just shot out of there. That's how you know he's feeling himself.
Who's he on the phone with?
He's got a sleeve.
He's calling someone to bring help for Tulsa.
He's calling the AT&T game connection. That's what he's doing right there. You like that plug?
I want to talk about a dangerous
like
team
that.
here offensively. Oklahoma putting up 66 this weekend, but we've seen what they can do offensively as well.
And we saw great quarterback play there. How about great quarterback play here? North Carolina hosting Minnesota. First quarter. It's 3rd and 12 for the Tar Heels. What's a Tar Heel highlight without Drake May having one of those games? Boom! Talk about a throw. Hits Nate McCullin over there for a 46-yard touchdown pass. Nate had himself a day. Second quarter, same score. May locks in on his wide out, and he's wide open. Kamari Morales. What happened? Just a bust in coverage. Gets down at the 1-yard line. So next play, Omarion Hampton. Get out of my way.
He's been great, by the way.
Yeah, 6th touchdown of the season. Matches his total from last season. Late in the first half, UNC still up. May just airing this thing out. J.J. Jones on the catch, 39-yard completion. Moments later, Bryson Nesbitt gets it from his boy May. Now, that's a touch pass in between two people. Harder than it looks, people. UNC up 21-3 at that point, fourth quarter. British Brooks runs the ball in, making reservations for 6. UNC will go on to win this 31-13. Nate McCullin set career highs today, 15 catches, 165 yards, and a touchdown. We only seen Josh Downs do that. Right before this game, I looked at everyone in the movie theater because we watched this with a bunch of TVs and we talk about this game. And I said, Drake May is going to have himself a day. Still yet to have himself one of those big statistical performances.
He threw for 400 yards, Scoob. Come on, man.
Look at
He's
that.
balling, but
His
two picks is the reason why they didn't score 60 today.
All right, so I thought Duke and North Carolina were basketball schools. No, they're both ranked in the AP Top 25 in football here. Waters runs in the end zone for the 2-yard touchdown. Duke leading here 17-0. Northwestern looking to score. Ben Bryant drops back, finds A.J. Henning for a 14-yard touchdown, make it 17-7. Third quarter, 10 minutes left. First and goal, Riley Leonard into the end zone for the touchdown.
What
Duke
is
up
that?
23-7. Not sure what we're doing there. Third quarter, Duke leading 24-7. Leonard dropping back. Jalen Calhoun for 28 yards. Remember, he didn't get that homework assignment extension a couple of weeks ago when they beat Clemson.
That professor's rate my professor was destroyed.
It took a hit, right? There later, Leonard rushing the 2 yards into the end zone. Duke up 30-7, went on to win 38-14. So another impressive start for the Duke Blue Devils, 3-0. I mean, look out. This is a dangerous team.
No, they're...
All right, let's check out some game-changing connections presented by AT&T 5G, where the coaches drew it up and the players got it done. Matt Sims and I back over here at the magical touchscreen because we got 3 plays for you here this week, and we'll pick it up with LSU, who went down to Stark Vegas today. They kind of run through Jaden Daniels. They're only as good as him. He was good today.
Yeah, he was a baller today. Only 4 completions on the day. Extremely efficient. Did it on the ground, too, as well. But here we got a crucial situation in the game. It's only 10-0 here early in that second quarter, and it's a 4th and 7 situation. The QB knows it's a gotta-have-it situation. So no matter what, he knows that his coach is giving him free rein to be aggressive here, to make that play to get the first down. So we got a really easy completion here by Jaden Daniels because they execute, right? We have 6 men here close to the line of scrimmage. Eyes of the defenders right here. All right here on the guys in front of him. Eyes here. Eyes here. Right here. And right here. We know that this backer right here is blitzing wide because of the depth of this defender right here. So he's this close to the line of scrimmage and he is stacked over this defender. We expect this man to come and blitz. So we have 6 men, right, versus our 5 offensive linemen and our running back. So it's 6-on-6 with the matchups. We got a wide and release fade down here by Malik Neighbors. And then we have a wide and release slant. This is our man matchup here to the field. He has all this space to throw him open and to get open versus man coverage. Jaden Daniels does a great job of recognizing that coverage, holds the free safety in the middle of the field, and then throws a beautiful football over the shoulder, right in that breadbasket, baby. Whoa! You can't place it any better than that, my friends. Fantastic throw in a crucial situation. Great execution. Here's the wide footage of it as well. We see those 6 cats at the line of scrimmage right here. We see eyes on the offensive player straight across, right? We know that it's man coverage. I'm going to change the color. Look at this. I'm going to go wide and release. Wide and release here. Wide and release slant. It's 1-2, just like that. We're taking that shot down the field all day. Beautiful throw. And look at just the rhythm, the timing. Great job boxing out the defender. Great execution by the LSU Tigers.
Yeah, so Daniels threw for 361 today, 2 touchdowns. LSU needs that game-changing talent on the outside. Malik Neighbors may be that game-changing talent. All right, moving right along here. Boston College, it was an early start for Florida State and Jordan Travis, but he was able to get it going, and he used Johnny Wilson on the outside to do it.
Yeah, definitely. And great to see Johnny Wilson kind of getting acclimated into the game a little bit more. We didn't see much of Keon Coleman today, which was a little disappointing. But nonetheless, right, they have a plethora of ballers on the offensive side of the football. Sam and Skubie and I, we were watching the game, and we were so impressed with this cat right here. He got hurt. He hurt his shoulder in that first half, came out of the second half, and was throwing absolute dimes. And it's really impressive to see that because your team is looking to that signal caller to play tough through plays like that. So with the injury, we got a cover 0 look here. We got 6 cats again on the defensive line. We all know that they're coming. Why? This is the secondary. Look how close the secondary is to the line of scrimmage in this situation.
They're coming.
They're coming, right? They're within 8 yards of the football right now. We got man coverage here on the outside. Man coverage right there. Man on and man on, straight across. What we're going to see Johnny Wilson do is a wide and release post. He's going to attack that outside shoulder of the corner scoop to make him turn and run. Then we have a deep in cut here by Keon Coleman. And we got a wheel right here by the wingman, out the flat and then out the back door, right down the sideline. So easy read for Jordan Travis. He is thinking post is the 1 shot. The wheel is number 2, and then 3 is the in cut, all right? And he's going to read it out just like that. First thing first, though, protection. Great protection right here. Look at that wash. Great job. Hat on a hat. Really good job protecting their quarterback. This backer right here is adding on because he is covering the back. So he's like, hey, man, I'm coming too, right? Because he's staying in protection. We play it out. Man, let's rewind that one more time, actually. Let's just watch Johnny Wilson attack the outside shoulder of this corner here. See the corner open his hips?
Turn them hips.
It's over, my friend. He's going to cross face, and he is going to be wide open. Right, for the explosive play. When you see that, it's green grass. If he's even, he's leaving, baby. Fantastic throw right down the middle, and this really kind of reinvigorated that Florida State offense.
So Boston College gave Florida State a run for their money earlier today, but Florida State was able to edge it out there. So here's another game that got a lot of football pundits kind of acting up, and that was the Minnesota-UNC game. Drake May, quiet the first 2 weeks, came alive here today.
Man, Drake, just protect the football a little bit more because Your wins and losses of your team really depends on you and you protecting the football. But you make unbelievable plays all the time, man, so you keep doing your thing, all right? I threw way more turnovers than you did, so don't worry, brother, all right? We got a 3-by-1 formation here. We're going to get some sort of a quarters push, right? So what does that mean? This safety right here, he's pushing. I forgot the pen again. I'm such an amateur.
That's the third time, man.
I know. I'm sorry, man. I get too excited, all right? I'm like a kid in a candy store, all right? This safety right here is going to push to this 3 side here, all right? We are going to run a little sit route over the middle. We're going to run a fake in and go, just like this, and then a stop route. We are just going to read this very simply, right? A top down. We're going to take the shot as number 1, and then the comeback is number 2, with this hook releasing late as number 3, all right? When we read this out, it's going to play very simply, but what's most impressive about this is this. 3-man rush, they're trying to protect and stop the pass. Right now, this safety playing pretty far off the ball, right? There's nothing really forcing him to commit. Drake May does a really good job buying time. He knows that this is an explosive play potential. He buys time, he moves up in the pocket, creates space for himself. You see that move right there? He takes that 1 step in. He has all of his momentum looking back in towards the field. What does this defender do? He's about to drive on the in cut. No, he's not, because now he's going over the top. And again, if he's even, he's leaving. Drake May does a great job of throwing the football on the run for the touchdown.
So those were 3 quarterbacks in the Heisman race that certainly will be in the Heisman race for weeks and weeks to come. Those are your game-changing connections presented by AT&T 5G.
All you want is an opportunity to win, to be amongst the elite, to be amongst the best. And darn it, I'm going to give you that. This ain't got nothing to do with the naysayers.
Can he get the players there?
I don't remember him winning anything. Colorado stinks. This is not us. When we started this journey, we told you it was going to be trying, it was going to be tough, but you endured. We ain't got next. We got now. We ain't coming no more. We here. Do you believe in that?
If that doesn't fire you up, I don't know what will. College Game Day was in town. We had The Rock was on the set. Prime joined the show as well. And Colorado has kind of turned into the epicenter of college football over the first couple of weeks. And last week we heard their quarterback, Deion Sanders, say he didn't like people disrespecting his dad. And Colorado State head coach Jay Norvell seemingly didn't get the memo.
And I sat down with ESPN today, and I don't care if they hear it in Boulder. I told them I took my hat off and I took my glasses off, and I said, when I talk to grown-ups, I take my hat and my glasses off. That's what my mother taught me. So, you know, they're not going to like us no matter what we say or do. It doesn't matter, okay? So let's go up there and play.
Maybe not the wisest decision there. And there was a response, by the way. Shiloh, Deion's other son, went on Pat McAfee's show and addressed his team in response. Take a listen.
I don't get why. We was actually just talking about that, some of the receivers, and my dad was over there, and I overheard them talking about that. And I was like, what did he say? And they told me. I was like, bro, why do they do this to themselves every week? Coach Brown's a cool guy. Like, you don't have to be like that.
I'm minding my own business, watching some film, trying to get ready, trying to get out here and be the best coach I could be. And I look up and I read some bull junk that Deion said about us. Talk to us. Once again, talk to us. Why would you want to talk about us when we don't talk about nobody? All we do is go out here, work our butts off, and do our job on Saturday. But when they give us ammunition, they done messed around and made it what? It was just going to be a good game. They done messed around and made it personal. It was going to be a great test, a battle of Colorado, but they done messed around and made it personal.
Tough to find a better motivator than Deion Sanders and Prime and what he's done. Awesome. But like, why do it? Answer Shiloh's question. Like, why do teams keep doing this?
Because I don't think that some of these coaches really understand, you know, the scope that they're under when they say these comments and just the nature of the business that is social media and college football. He said that in passing. Probably really didn't think much of it at the time, didn't know that it was going to blow up into this situation.
Yeah, I think about it like, you know, if you're a player on Colorado State and your coach went out and said something, I'm like, all right, thanks, coach. We're the ones that got to go out there and deal with it. So if you're going to be the ones talking, why don't you put on a helmet and get on the field with this pissed off Colorado team? But, Matt, I think your point is spot on. He didn't really think about it too much. But then again, I think you need to be a little bit more self-conscious as a coach that everything and anything you say can be magnified, especially with a team like Colorado.
Here's my take on Colorado, too, and this is maybe a bird's eye view here, but it's not just that Prime's doing things in a different way. Mm-hmm. It's that he's doing things in a different way and he's winning. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what makes people really mad, right? I mean, it's that he's done this his way and he's having success.
This is what everyone is getting. This is not a show. This is who this man is.
Right.
And to be an effective player, to be an effective coach, you have to be your authentic self. And this is not him putting on a show. This is not him trying to entertain us. You know, this isn't the Gladiator. This is Coach Prime. This is who he is. This is what made him a Hall of Fame football player. So we're seeing an authentic person be himself, and his team loves him for it.
Quickly, is this somebody that you guys would have
Hell
liked to
yeah.
play for?
You don't even have to finish the sentence. Hell yeah, I would sign up and play for this guy.
Man, I'm still trying to find some eligibility so I could try and walk on to Colorado and at least just be in the locker room and hear Prime speaking. It's literally like you're at church sometimes. For those that go to church, you hear the preacher going in and you just get hit by the Spirit. Prime is a preacher, and when I hear him talking and he's having his team finish his sentence, I'm like, I'm getting caught up with the Holy Spirit.
Right.
I'm trying to get in that locker room. But there's some things that Colorado needs to improve on heading into this game. And when you look at their offensive line, that is where I have my eyes on. They've given up a lot of sacks this season. They gave up 8 in their last game against Nebraska. But they're in the situation where you have a quarterback who is so good under pressure. Nobody else has completed more passes under pressure than Deion Sanders. And he's so good with throwing in the pocket and throwing on the run.
He's done a really good job of extending football plays. You know, he's not like the most mobile quarterback in the world, but he moves extremely well and has great awareness within the pocket and can extend plays very well. He's a really good quarterback that has great experience. We talked about this while we were watching the games earlier today. The HBCU experience that he got great, on-the-job experience. And he had, his lumps in the road. And this is why he's able to come onto this big stage and be as confident as he is, because he's kind of gone through the ringer a little bit, And it's really just a culmination of a ton of things. And whatever Colorado's paying him, Deion will probably renegotiate that contract by the end of this year, because more kids are going to go to that school than ever before. Yeah. The school's going to make more money than they've ever made, and it's going to change their entire outlook and demographic of that school forever.
Right, but we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves here, because Colorado, it feels like they're in a bit of a honeymoon phase here. I mean, they have played some tough talent. More likely than not, they're going to lose a game this year. And the question that we're all going to have then is like, okay, what happens now? So when you look at the schedule, you go to Oregon next week, and then you have number 5 USC coming in, who more than likely than not will
game day will be back for that game.
I will say, maybe some people have forgotten this, and I want to get some take of the people in the chat as well. Dan Lanning already said some things about Colorado that they're going to use as it's personal. When they were leaving the conference to go and join the Big 12, he said, what have they won in this conference? They haven't done anything to affect this conference, so why should I care that Colorado is leaving? So already, we got some bulletin board material for their next game. So 4 games into the season, a head coach has done something to give Prime some motivation and preaching in the locker room.
He's going to do it again. He definitely will.
Texas is back, folks.
Texas is 2-0. Back on beat, back on road, back on street. Yes, I'm back. Hey, like I never left, with another step and another breath.
Launching downfield, touchdown, Texas.
Yes, I'm back.
But this brand has been away a long time, and tonight they're back, showing people they can play with the best teams in the country.
All right, so having a little fun with Texas here, but it seems like there are some perennial powerhouses in college football that are claiming they are back this year. So that leads us to the question, is Texas back? Is OU back? Is Florida State back? We'll start with Texas. Quickly, Maddie, is Texas back?
Texas is back, baby, and they're better than ever, and they can do it any way that you wanted to. They're big, they're strong, they're fast, they're physical, and they make explosive plays.
I'm right there with you, Matt. Texas is back, and I know everyone's talking about those wide receivers and Quinn Ewers, but I'm looking at that defensive line. They are so deep, so much depth, big, fast, and strong.
All right, on to Oklahoma, too. Dylan Gabriel is back, seemingly healthy as well. That's a big boost to them. Defensively, it seems like they really have a complete team right now.
Yeah, they really do. Brent Venables has done a great job of going back to what got him there in that first place, relying and coaching defense extremely well. We've seen the defense get better. The offense, Dylan Gabriel is performing at a high level. The Texas-Oklahoma just crescendo is coming here, and it's awesome. I really am excited for this game.
I know the SEC right now is saying, please hurry up and join us because nobody else is winning in our conference. Right. Oklahoma is back. They're doing a great job offensively and defensively.
Yes, all right, over to the ACC. Florida State, I mean, look, they won it all in 2013, so it's not like we're going all the way that far back, but still, is Florida State back to maybe that 2013 type of season?
They won it in 13, but they completely fell off the map after that.
Yep.
So I would say that, yes, this team probably has one of the best rosters, like I said earlier, from top down in the country. And I know that they had a tough game against Boston College today, but I still have great expectations for them to win the ACC.
Yeah, they're back like some back pockets, man. I'm going to tell you that right now. Florida State, they don't have much to compete with in the ACC. We'll see what happens against Clemson because we're going to find out a little bit more about them because today we saw some holes.
Yeah.
Miami likes to kind of draw a line across the middle of the state and down, and they say that is the state of Miami to recruit that state. And so far, it looks like they may be back.
I like what I've seen so far with Miami. Tyler Van Dyke has played extremely well. They definitely have a big, strong offensive line. I think this is going to be a really good team this year. I don't know if they're all the way back, but they're definitely in consideration to be a team that is improving dramatically.
What are they missing?
They're missing, I think, just like overall depth on their roster. Okay. And I think they just need more consistency with just their coaching staff, too.
Yeah, Tyler Van Dyke has had a different offensive coordinator every single year that he's been there. But it seems like they have found the right guy this season because he's also in the Heisman conversation. Miami is back.
All right, last but certainly not least, out west, Washington. Are they back or not?
Man, it's tough to say. I want to say yes, they are, but the Pac-12 is just so loaded with so many good football teams. So I'm going to say yes, they are, but man, they have a gauntlet of a conference to go through to actually prove them, to prove me right in this situation.
Yeah. Earlier in the show, you said you think they're the #1 team in the Pac-12, and it's hard to argue against that. Washington, behind the arm of Michael Penix Jr., is most definitely back, and they have just as much of a chance to get into the CFP and win it than anybody else.
All right, so we're going to, with the last couple of minutes here, take a nice little live look in at the Backyard Brawl, which historically has always been a great matchup. Both of the teams with one loss apiece. Pitt in the red zone here, and they may have lost the ball. I think they may have recovered it, but certainly was lost for a moment.
Yeah, this game is going to be probably low scoring if I think about it. But, man, I'm excited to watch the Backyard Brawl. These rivalry games in college football is really what the game is about.
Yeah, this is a great warm-up game, too, for everyone that's excited about the Colorado State game.
Right.
That will not be a low-scoring game. I expect Colorado to try to put up 70 on the board just to kind of send a message to the rest of the country. But West Virginia is an extremely tough place to play. When I played for Louisville there before I transferred, that was an unbelievable atmosphere. They get up, and they are crazy down there in Morgantown.
Quickly, I know we're watching this matchup here. We have rivalries in this one. Colorado State's a rivalry as well. Just a quick preview to next weekend because there are a ton of ranked versus ranked matchups next week. Is there anything that you're kind of keeping an eye on before we leave?
I think that really the biggest one is just that Oregon matchup that we discussed earlier.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Oregon-Colorado, I think, is going to be an exciting game, and I think it's going to really kind of tell us exactly who Colorado is.
Yes, same here. Really looking forward to that game as well. But Florida State, Clemson, we brought that up. I'm really excited to see what those teams bring on that day because their season is in the hands of the decision of that game.
Yeah, no question about it. We got about 8 minutes left here in the first quarter in the Backyard Brawl.
Do we have to end this? This is so fun.
I know.
Why can't we just hang out
We
here?
could sit here and watch football all day long, although that's exactly what we have been doing all day long is watching football. from
we just
12
want to do it with our fans
until the start of the show. It was really exciting to see, College Game Day in Colorado at Boulder. See Lee Corso was a great tribute to him as well with the 400th headdress or gear this weekend as well. As the field goal goes through there. So looking forward to the rest of the season in Week 4, which has a lot of tantalizing matchups as well. For Matt Sims, Skubie Mageza, I'm Sam Ravech. Thanks for watching the College Football Show presented by AT&T 5G. We'll see you next week.